So I've not posted in a while, but I'm finally back today, and I've picked up flying since. I did my first solo exactly a week before this video was recorded, and on my second solo today, I'm going to be heading to the local Class C airport in my area to do some pattern work. I'm then going to head back to the airport where my training is based out of in Davenport, Iowa, and do some touch and goes there. I was able to get the video recording of this flight, but I wasn't able to get the audio recording, so I will be voicing everything over today. So just for some context, the reason I keep looking back is because behind the area where I'm doing the run up, there's some tractor that's mowing the lawn, so I want to make sure my prop wash doesn't hit him. So you might have just heard that high-pitched noise there. That was actually my GoPro picking up the sound coming off my headset. This sound happened whenever I keyed the push-to-talk mic. So you see I key the mic a few more times. I also try messing with the squelch, but nothing ends up working. So as you can see, I ended up calling Unicom and seeing if they could help. So I explained the problem to them and they tell me to give them a second as I get an instructor on the line. So as you can see, I end up deciding to flip the avionics switch on and off. This ends up fixing the problem and I let Unicom know and get on my way. As you can see, I joined the left traffic pattern for runway 33 and I end up departing on the downwind towards Moline. I pick up the ATIS and then contact approach. The traffic pattern altitude for light aircraft at Davenport is 1700 feet, and a beam runway 33 on the downwind. We're under a Class Charlie shelf which has a base at 2000 feet. That being the reason I do all of this relatively quickly. So once I've made contact with approach, I'm technically cleared into the airspace. So being only 1,000 feet above ground, I usually like to climb, since the area you have to fly over to get to Moline is pretty populated, and I want to keep my options open in the event my engine fails. I'm instructed to join the right traffic pattern for runway 31. The controller initially instructs me to extend my downwind because of some jet traffic around 8 or 9 miles out. He then decides that he wants me to do a short approach. At first you can see I'm kind of caught off guard because I've never been asked this before. Because he wanted me to make a short approach because of the jet traffic, I didn't really make a turn to base. As you can see, I'm quite off center line, so I have to correct for that. So what I'm doing with the VOR receiver is I'm counting the number of landings I have. I eventually just get sick of it and then I look on Flight Aware afterward in order to put it in my logbook. So as you may have noticed, I not only have the tendency to undershoot the runway, but also come in a little fast, as you'll be able to see in the next landings. And here's another good example of me undershooting the runway. And again, you can see I undershoot. And again, with this one probably being the worst one so far. I decide to make this my last one and make the quick hop back to Davenport. I join the straight in for a very long final for runway 33. You may have noticed I have a tendency to fly quite close patterns. The reason I do this is in order to minimize the time that I am not able to glide to the airport in the event my engine fails. However, in this scenario, it became a touch of an issue. What happened was the flight school airplane was flying a bit of a longer pattern than I was, and as soon as he was right next to me, I decided to turn. This resulted us in getting a little bit close. Since the airport is a little bit small, there's only a few taxiways to get off the runway from. The flight school airplane already took the one up I usually use. So the most realistic one for me to make, or the most practical one rather, was the first one. As you can see here, I kind of do this half short field, half not short field landing. And what ends up happening is I think I had my toes on the brake a little when I landed, so you can see I skid a little. I will say it felt a lot worse than it shows up on video. Well, that's the end of the video and the flight, and if you stuck around till the end, I'd like to thank you for watching. If there's anything you think I should do differently, please let me know in the comments below. Again, thank you for watching, and see you next time.